is the most popular weapon right now. And for good reason, mind you. The thing is that this thing only has one purpose. Not that it's a bad purpose at all, whatsoever. The purpose of this weapon is killing Lionels. Basically because if you do something else with this thing, it's going to break on you, and that is no bueno for Link's health. And not, again, that is a bad thing, mind you, because at the end of the day, that is the only purpose that this weapon has. To kill Lionels, to hunt Lionel. And since that is the only purpose of your existence, then you know that you have a cool name, the Lionel Slayer. But what is the name of the game? The name of the game is The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Exploration. That is what we like to do in this game. We like to explore the unexplorable. We like to reach the unreachable. And to reach the unreachable, we need to use something to smack things in the face. We are regularly going to smack things in the face with the Master Sword. But what happens when the Master Sword fails? Who is going to leave the torch? Well, that is what we're going to try to find out in this video, because this thing is surely not going to do so. We're going to be using this thing mainly to kill Lionels. Why? It does reaches to nearly 200 attack power. Thing is that you can only use it from behind a Lionel's back, which is not going to cause durability damage to the weapon. That is why it's so popular right now. But the only purpose that this thing is going to have is kill Lionels. Again, and when we explore, what are we going to use? Well, I have a couple different weapons that we are going to be speaking about, that we're going to be talking about, and that they are going to try to be the solution for this thing. First, we have the Gerudo scimitar, or not the Gerudo scimitar in itself, but the Gerudo weapons. The Gerudo weapons, what they are going to do is that they are going to double the damage, the attack power that a weapon is going to have, right? That being said, if you place a silver Lionel saber horn to this weapon, you are going to have plus 110, and then if you re-roll the weapon to get that beautiful gorgeous attack up, plus 9, it is going to have a total of 127 base damage. The thing is that this is not going to be less brittle than this one. As a matter of fact, the side effect of this thing is that the material's power is going to increase the damage of the weapon, but it is not going to add as much durability as the rest of the weapons. Meaning, if that is the case, then that means that it is going to break just a regular corrupted upheaval weapon. While it does have quite some high damage, it is just not going to be that reliable to explore the world by using this weapon. So, second to the silver Lionel blade, this is going to be the strongest weapon, but it is not reliable because it breaks. And we can get Gerudo weapons all around Gerudo. All you have to do is just explore around the world and you're going to find these weapons. It is a nice weapon. I also like the design of the weapon in itself, because I do not know, dude, it has something that really fits that katana brandish style that the weapon should have. But then again, if we compare this thing to, for example, the Gloom sword, this is interesting. A lot of people shy away from this weapon because it's going to eat away your hearts. If you re-roll this weapon, you could reach potentially 108 damage. If you get the plus attack 110, maybe something close to 110. That is going to be the damage this thing is going to have. It's going to have almost less points, 20 points in damage than the Gerudo weapons. But this is one of my personal favorites. People shy away from this weapon, again, mainly because it's going to eat away your hearts. But as you can see on the gameplay background, what you really want to do with this weapon is just time your attacks. If you time your attacks, it's going to consume one heart in one full combo. So if you use one full combo for this thing, and you wait a little bit, it doesn't really take that much, then that is going to allow you to keep using the weapon, and you're not going to use that many hearts. And as a matter of fact, during the whole entirety of the fights, you are just going to use one heart. And as a matter of fact, I learned to see this not as a downside, but as something that I could use in my advantage. Because it controls myself, my urge to, usually when you have so much attack power, and me as a Souls player, I just love Souls game, and when you do have that extra window for attack power and damage, you just want to keep whacking and whacking and whacking people in the face. This thing is going to say, hey, stop. You did your combo, now wait up a little bit and play smart. So it is not necessarily going to be a bad thing. The bad thing with this weapon is going to come with the depths. So it is not a weapon that you are going to use to be able to use in the depths. That said, you do have a way to counter that, which is going to be the Sony meals. The Sony meals that you're going to be able to craft them by cooking sunflowers, dandelions, with different materials, different meats and whatnot. Dandelions are not that difficult to come by. As a matter of fact, while you're doing exploration on the Sky Islands, you're going to be able to use this thing. So basically, there is no real downside when it comes to using the Gloom sword, which at some point, for some time, I did believe that this thing was the best weapon outside from the Master Sword and the Royal Guard's Claimer for exploration. This also has the chance to almost defeat one single silver Lionel. Almost, not quite, but almost. And while I was thinking to just trying to decide which one of these two would I decide that for me at the very least would be the best weapons, something else struck me. Something else happened. The Zora's warriors' weapons appeared. And it is very interesting. What is this thing going to do? Every time that you get wet, the attack power of the weapon, it's going to be doubled, reaching a whopping 142 damage if you roll properly your weapon. But you might say, hey, but you're conditioned. You are entitled to that specific moment where you are wet. That's what she said. Anyways, no, not necessarily. You can control this and you can use this to your advantage, because that's what I love about this game. We learn about the possibilities and we make our possibilities in this game. So you can always be wet, not that kind of wet, in this game. And it's just going to be a couple of points below in damage from the most powerful weapon. As a matter of fact, all of the gameplay that you're going to be seeing in the background for this weapon, all of the Lionels, which it might be 2, it might be 3, I do believe that this thing is capable of keep killing 3 silver Lionels just in itself. And what do you have to do? Fight in the rain. But if you cannot fight in the rain, if you are not able to be dancing in the rain, you can basically use the tools that the game has to offer for you. All you have to do every time you're fighting somewhere, or someone, you place in a hydrant and you make this your home. And this is basically what you have to do with this weapon. You're always going to have 150 attack power. You're not going to be conditioned by losing health. You're not going to be conditioned by your weapon breaking and whatnot. And the buff for you being wet, it's going to last for quite a while, so it's not going to instantly disappear even in the desert. As you can see right here, this is why I chose this specific place to have this showcase. And all in all, as you can see, you can control when this thing has a buff. And if you're able to roll the weapon to get the attack plus 10, either if it's a 8, 9, or 10, it's just going to be absurdly overpowered. And you have control over when do you have this double damage with this weapon, which is going to surpass the brittle Gerudo weapons. And it's not going to break. Again, it's not going to condition yourself, and this is all in all the best weapon out of them all. And you can get the Zora's weapons just by regularly exploring the Lenario zone right here, the Great Spring, sometimes in Zora's domain, in caves, there's always the amazing thing is that this is not entirely necessarily just a one-handed sword. It can also be a sword's spear or whatnots. But yeah, as you were able to see, the water warriors, the Zora weapons, are the strongest weapons in the game, and they are something that you can do, that you can use to explore, and that is going to be amazing. If you like the content, like it, really super appreciated. And also, you today, you're gorgeous and beautiful person. You're indeed a gorgeous and beautiful, beautiful person. Subscribe to the channel, like the video before you close the door, and I'll be seeing you goddamn gorgeous and beautiful people in the next one. Have a beautiful day and goodbye.